Number 3, we want to factor this trinomial. The problem is this value out in front, we're not used to having a value there. Well, we call that the A value. So this is called the A value. The middle in front of the end is called the B, and back here is called your C value. Now to factor this, normally go, oh, can we factor a 12 out? No, 44 doesn't have a factor of 12, nor does the 7. So we're like, oh, what do we do here? This is going to be a weird, product of two binomials. We're going to do the method called busting B. Now, to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the A and the C value, and then we're going to bust this B into two spots, into two pieces. So first, we got to do, 12 times 7. Okay, so the first method is always to do A times C value. 12 times 7 is how much? 84. And now we break 84 down like we normally do anything. 1 times an 84, 2 times a 42. Does 3 go into it? 3 does. 3 goes into it how many times? It looks like 28 times. 3 times 28. Yes, that's correct. 3 and 28. Does 4 go into it? Yeah. Wow, this guy's crazy. 4 and a 20 what? 4 and a 21. Does 5 go into it? No. Does 6 go into it? Yes, 6 does go into it. 6 goes into it 6, 1, 2, 4, 14 times. Does 7? No. Yes, 7 does. Sorry about that. 7 goes into it 12 times. Everything left is between 7 and 12. Obviously, you're going to be using a calculator. 9 times nothing, and then 10, no, 11, nope. So I know there's nothing left because none of the numbers between 7 and 12 worked. So this guy had a whole lot. We're looking for the pieces that are going to add together to give me 44. Since this is a positive 84, either both pieces have to be positive or both have to be negative. Since you have a plus right there, you want to add. So everybody's got to be an addition here. And it looks like it's going to be Mr. 2 and Mr. 42. So we're going to bust the B into a 2n plus a 42n. That's what we're going to bust it into. Then we're just going to bring down our 12n squared. We're going to bring down our 7. So we've simply rewritten this guy to where we busted the B. Now here's what we do. We group these together and we group these together. We put parentheses around them and group them. We're doing that because we're now going to do what's called factor by grouping, which is nice and simple. I see 12n squared plus 2n. What's the greatest common factor of 12 and 2? A 2, so a 2 can be factored out. You have an n and an n squared, so an n can also come out. Now say, 2 times what gives me 12? 6. N times an n would give you the n squared. Plus 2n times what gives you 2n? A 1. So it's just 6n plus 1 there. Plus, now let's factor this group right here. 42n plus 7. I can see a 7 there. Factors out. 7 times 6 is 42. And then just their n's there. Plus 7 times what gives you 7? A 1. And notice here now what has happened. This is a 6n plus 1. This is a 6n plus 1. And you really have just two pieces here. You have the 2n times the 6n plus 1 plus this other piece. Well, what happens, that means the 6n plus 1 can factor out in front, and you're left behind with the 2n plus 7. And notice 6n plus 1 times 2n plus 7, guess what it gives you? Boom! It gives us that 12n squared plus 44n plus 7. We have just factored that difficult fella by using the busting B method.